What's up, everyone? Welcome back to a new video on the channel. Welcome to some Forza Horizon 5 with another, I guess, tier list of the best possible cars to use in this game. Now, for today's video and a few videos to come, I'm going to be making the best cars for road racing. The best handling cars, the fastest cars around the track, whatever you want to call them. Basically, that's what we're going to be doing for the next few videos. Now, for today, I'm only going to be doing D-class cars because there's going to be a lot of different cars for a lot of these different types of classes. So we'll start off with D-class. There's a bunch of them. I don't think I would have been able to do this all in the one video because there's just way too many cars. So that's why I split them into each class. D-class, C-class, B-class, A-class, S1, and S2. So we'll get to those eventually in a different video. But for now, for today's video, we're starting off with D-class. And the little honorable mention that I'm driving right now. I'll put share codes for every single one of these cars, by the way, up on the screen so you guys can try them for yourselves, of course. Huge shout out again to my man's Dom for putting this list together. Again, every single one of these cars are every single one of these tunes even for these cars are all tunes made by people that actually go leaderboard hunting and they try to do the best possible times, and they're actual world record holders. So all these tunes are being used to actually set world records on the rival events. And yeah, and for today's video and the next few videos, we're going to be focusing a lot on these road racing events here. So there's some of these cars that are only going to be good for very specific tracks. That's why there's a bunch of cars and not like, let's say, just one or two cars. So yeah, anyway, like I said, we'll start off with this first car. The first honorable mention, the Reliant Supervan. Now this is good, it's fun. It only holds a world record on apparently just the one track, and it's on the Emerald circuit. So I kind of want to go and give it a shot and see. Where is the Emerald circuit? Right here. Boom. Smack it on. I don't even know if I've done a run in D-class on this. Have I ever done? I have never done a run in D-class. Well, we're going to be using the Reliant Supervan for it, and we'll try it out. And then I'll have a look at the world leaderboards and see where I am. Like, I just want to do this just as a one run. I feel like I need to kind of shorten some of these videos down. And instead of just making these videos really long where I do multiple laps, I'm just only going to try to do just a one lap on these tracks, and we'll see. But I do still like to kind of give like my first impressions on the cars, you know, like I have to kind of showcase and tell you guys what it's like to drive these things. Ideally, I should probably have braking line on, and not only that, but I should also feel like I should have ABS off, especially on the Reliant Robin, because this thing just locks up fully with that one wheel at the front, so I need to be kind of careful with the way I drive in this car. It is very well balanced though, this one. It does slip a lot, as you can see, but it does have quite a lot of power. See what I mean by the brakes in the front just locking up? Okay. I'm kind of trying to use my handbrake to even like rotate the background, because obviously I don't have the precision or whatever, the grip up front with the one wheel being there just to turn me. So I genuinely feel like having my handbrake being used here a little bit could possibly help. Acceleration though, for a D-class car, look at this thing go. Yeah, it's fine. We'll do one actual rolling lap with it. Oh man, that is awful. That was terrible. And this is definitely a slow time, but I'll try it anyway. You have to start steering into the corner like 20 miles before the actual corner itself for it to actually grip up and turn. If you can get it to slide a little bit, it's even better. If you can get that back end out, it is even better. It's actually not going to topple over. This is like probably the most confident I've ever felt driving one of these Reliants, because it just, the grip is so good on it when you're trying to take a corner. Like, it's just at that perfect amount. I feel like if I had a little bit more grip, I'd definitely make this thing topple over. But right now, oh god, yeah, the brakes are awful, man. I should definitely be running ABS off. And there's my run. Horrendous run at 109, but I don't know if I can go any faster. Surely there is a way you can go faster, but is a 109 with this thing. Let's have a quick look at where I am in the world, and then we'll move on to the actual list of cars that hold a lot more world records on different tracks. Alright, with that horrible first time driving at 109, which is miles behind, let's have a look and see if we can find the actual world record for this thing. So all of these are on automatic, which I'm thinking that none of these are legit up here. When do we start getting like good ones? Like 456 on the Jeep Gladiator. Maybe some of these. This guy, actually, I think this guy's tune. I think this is the actual guy that owns this tune that I'm driving right now, if I'm not mistaken. If not, I've definitely seen his tune pop up on another one. But you can see the Reliant Supervan is definitely up there. Yeah, I'm top 10%. I'm nowhere near anything. Like, that was just a horrendous run from my end. But we'll leave it there for that for that display. Like I said, I think if I turn off ABS, I might have a bit of a better time as well with that thing. But that was just terrible. Anyway, let's move on to the actual cars. Now, we'll start off with the tried and true, tested, the absolute one of the best cars in this game. It's just an unbelievably good car. The Sierra Cars RX, or 700 RX. It is such a good car. And we've used this thing for off-road racing. We've used this thing for on-road racing. It's good for multiple classes. It is just such an unbelievably good car. And again, it's very, very good for super, super tight circuits like the Chihuahua circuit or the Los Jardines circuit, apparently. It's just an unbelievably good car to drive. I mean, it's not really a car. It's just kind of like a bit of scaffolding on wheels. But it is an incredibly good car for those type of events. Now, I think we should test it out on the Chihuahua circuit. I apparently have gotten the time before here with some other car. But we'll completely ignore that and we'll take this thing out and drive it. And let's see if I can improve on that time. I don't even know what car I was driving at the time there. Maybe it is actually this car that I was at some point driving on this track. I don't even know. I genuinely just don't remember. But yeah, we'll try it out like that. Again, all my settings are pretty much like this. I think ABS should be fine on this thing. It's got like slicks on it. Alright, let's send it. Let us send it. I haven't driven on this track in a long time, but that is okay. This thing is just on rails. As you can see, it just doesn't slow down. Or I don't have to slow down even. I can just go into the corners at full pelt. I mean, it is D-Class, so we're not really driving that fast, but it is a crazy good car. Like, this is from a standing start that I'm catching with this guy. And I've overtaken this guy who at some point was faster than me on with whatever car I used on this track. Back whenever I've done a run on it. This thing is just on a different level than other cars. Like, it's so unbelievably good. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do for today's video. I'm just going to do 2 laps. Basically one standing start lap and then obviously a rolling lap afterwards. Hopefully I can do that with every single one of these cars. But I'm already faster by 3.7 seconds from a standing start. So let's continue lapping. And we'll do our rolling lap. I think I have to take these corners very smoothly, so I don't really have to, or so the car just doesn't slow down with the grip. So I'm going to try and position myself in ways where my speed doesn't really drop that much. I mean, it's going to drop now because I'm going uphill. But apart from that, if I can try and avoid that from happening, then that's good. Not the best of lines through that corner. I kind of went a bit too fast in it. But I just kind of hopped in it and then hoped for the best, pretty much. I guarantee you, obviously, with every single one of these tunes, the more you drive them, the more I get used to them, and the faster I'll end up going. It's just the length of the video is what bothers me. I don't really want to have like another video that's like 15 minutes long, because I feel like that one was just too much. So there's a 104.6. We'll leave it at a 104.6 for the moment. I feel like some of the cars are going to get a little bit crazier, especially some of the cars that are going to be good for sprints. Like these ones that I'm showing you right now, the Reliant was kind of cool. It's calm. This also very calm because it's for like really tight tracks. once we started getting to the sprints and the really, like, the cars that have, like, a silly amount of horsepower, that's when it gets really interesting. But we'll see. We'll see where we get there. Alright, and that run, looking at the leaderboards, is... Where am I in the world? Again, a bunch of cheater scores at the top. As soon as you start seeing automatic and you have the, like, every assist on, like, it's just... Like, Bentley blower and stuff like that, like, you automatically can just tell, like, these are cheated. But then, as you can see, a list of people in the Sierra start popping up. Maybe you'll have, like, a couple more up here. Here's this guy again. Who's just apparently an absolute god at Rivals. Very sweaty player, but good for him. He does some good stuff. Don't you want song is the place just above me. That's jokes. In the 70th position. Only slightly faster than me. Slightly. Okay, cool. Well, that's sick. 71th place. So, or 71st place. 71th. I still can't get over the fact I said 71th. Anyway, let's move on to the next car. This, the Datsun 510. I actually absolutely love this thing. I have had multiple builds of this car before. I've even tried and I made my own build at some point as well with this car. But apparently this is also a world record holder on a lot of the sprints. A lot of the sprint tracks in this game, which is very, very sick. So, like, Bahia del Plano, I'm pretty sure, the Dunas Blancas sprint and more. So, I'm excited to drive this thing. I'm excited to see what it's like. Again, with the whole min-maxing on suspension and stuff like that, to obviously increase the top speed. It's very cool. So, this track is one of the tracks that I've always driven on. So, I guess we'll test it out here in D-Class. I don't even know if I have any runs on D-Class here, but for a lot of the higher end cars, I have had runs on it. So, apparently, this is the world record holder on that track. Did I just see 700 horsepower in this thing, by the way? Or was it 70-something horsepower? Yeah. We'll just try it out like this. I'm not gonna change anything. Right. Let's pay attention if it says 70 or 700. Okay, it's 70. Wait. No, it's not. Yeah, so I was informed or told that for the power builds, I should really have traction control on. But I'm too stubborn to put it on, so I'm leaving it off for the moment. I might do a run with it on though, because I feel like it might... I'm gonna ruin the showcase of the car if I don't put it on. But yeah, this is, I guess, what the meta is. You know, you just have a silly amount of horsepower in a car. And you just ease on the throttle. Just kind of try your best not to smash into any of these walls. It's actually very intuitive to drive. It's not really that bad. But again, your throttle control has to be insane with it. If you're on a keyboard, you're pretty much screwed instantly. You literally like need a controller. 26 seconds faster. No, we'll keep going. I'll keep going so I can do my rolling lap. I don't know if that was the best place to brake, but I'll take it. It is a little bit all over the place, but at the same time, I'm trying to be smooth with it. Especially acceleration, because steering is all fine. It's just as soon as I start accelerating, it's just when it gets all funky and weird. Yeah, I definitely think I should have traction control on. I might give it a shot after this, just one lap, just to see what sort of time I get, even if I don't show it to you guys fully, and I'll just show you like the kind of like the aftermath. I'm basically just driving on the throttle here, a 1024. Here, I'll just take that for the moment. It is very squirrely. It is controllable though, so just have to be kind of careful with it. I'll take that time. It's actually... it's smooth to drive, but at the same time, I honestly still think ABS off is the way to go for these cars. I have ABS on now, and I still don't slam on my brakes. It's just, I feel like the car just doesn't slow down as fast. So even with ABS on, you get to the point like where your brakes aren't like fully locking up, like, or they start to lock up. I mean, ABS does basically the same thing, but I genuinely just feel like ABS is just holding you back if you're doing these runs. Kind of have to learn how to drive without it, but it was a decent time. I think that was all right with a 1 minute. I actually haven't really checked the leaderboards yet, but I tried that with traction control on, and it's quite an interesting drive. Let's just put it that way. Quite an interesting drive. It still requires a lot of, I guess, control. It doesn't really mean like the only thing that you're really trying to stop it from doing is getting too much angle going sideways. So it kind of keeps the traction control engaged at all times, if that makes sense. Scrolling through this list, it just seems like there's a lot of like this guy's name is literally unknown. Like, what? A lot of people cheating. I mean, like I said, this thing is the car that like basically owns this track. It's the car that got the world record on this track. A lot of these cars that you see automatic, they're just not doing it. This guy's max level like is cheating. There's a lot of cheated scores on these leaderboards by the looks of things. Anyway, where am I in the world? 304 with the Datsun 510. We'll take that. I can definitely drive a lot better if I take my time. Like the guy above me is just cheating. What the hell? It's so weird, man. Like even up here, like, or sorry, even down here, in like the 300th position, you still have people that are just straight up cheating. That's mad. Well, anyway, Datsun 510, very sick car. Let's move on to the next one. Next up is this little nugget, the Peel P50. It's apparently an incredibly terrible car to drive. It is still the best car, though, for a lot of the circuit events. It's definitely meta on a lot of the circuit events where acceleration is needed. So I'm gonna guess the saying it has a silly amount of horsepower for what it is. And obviously, it's incredibly lightweight. The only thing is going to struggle with is actually probably taking corners. That's what I'm guessing, because of these little like trolley tires that it has on. But the Horizon Mexico circuit, the Tierra circuit, I can't remember what that full circuit is called, but Dom basically told me what kind of circuits these cars should be used for. But yeah, I'm gonna probably go on the Horizon Mexico circuit and give it a shot. I know for a fact I'm gonna struggle with this thing quite a bit, but I have my assists on, like I've been told to do. The only thing I should probably turn on is the braking line. But yeah, Horizon Mexico circuit. Let's try it out in the Peel and see what I can do with it. I think I've done multiple laps on this in D-Class with some weird cars. So let's have a quick look at what car did I actually use for this. A Ford Anglia. I think someone sent me a tune for this thing or something. But we'll go with the Peel for this run and try to see if I can not only beat my time, but also just annihilate everyone else in my path with the little Peel P50. Okay. He did say that it's terrible to drive, so I'm going to keep traction control on. I am also going to put the driving line, we'll put the braking line on, and everything else I'm going to leave it alone. We'll try like that, and let's see what it's like. Oh god. It actually isn't that bad around corners. Yeah, it's not that bad around corners. I thought it was going to be a lot worse, to be honest with you. I don't know if I should be flooring it, though. That's the thing. Through some of these corners. I think what I'm doing is fine. Whoa. I think what I'm doing is just fine. It just feels a little sketch to drive. Oh my god. Oh. Maybe turn off sim steering for this car? That is so twitchy. It's incredibly twitchy. I mean, traction control helps a an absolute ton with this car by the looks of things. I'm really tempted to see just what sort of times people have been getting with this thing. Obviously people that have been playing with the POP50 and trying to get like times on this track. This thing is just mad to drive. I think I braked here the last time. I don't really need to brake, just need to lift off slightly. I wonder if traction control off is possible with this thing. I don't think so. I don't think it's possible at all. I think I'll get absolutely abused. It's only one rear tire, but or is this thing all-wheel drive? I actually didn't really pay attention to the tune itself. I mean, it grips up so well now because I have traction control on, and obviously that thing stops it from doing anything silly. But I am miles away. I have pulled away from that Corvette like crazy. It's just not even close anymore. Oh my god, I didn't expect it to grip up like that. Jesus Christ. It tells me to brake, but like, I didn't. Oh, don't flag my next lap. Thank you. That was terrible. Let's try that again. Let's try that again. Because as soon as you start accelerating with this thing, it just pulls in a straight line. Like that is the thing. See what I mean? Like, I should literally just go into this corner. Pretty late, actually. Kind of follow the line. And now floor it. If I want to have the best speed possible when crossing that line, I think that is the better way to do it. I think that's good. Still very grippy, man. Oh god. Very, very grippy car. But yeah, with traction control, obviously, it's a completely different breed. I think maybe this is one of those cars that you probably should drive without traction control, but I'm going to keep it on for the purpose of this video. Or else it's going to take me like 45 minutes just to do one lap with a car. That's clean. That's a really good corner. I feel like that was really, really nice. Again, really good. Leaving that Corvette behind. Come on. Last corner here. Let's try to do a good one. Not bad. Oh, don't spin, please. Should I take it? 121.9? I'll take it. I will take it. Oh, okay. There's some questionable tunes, but these are the meta tunes. These are the ones that people are using to get to the top of the leaderboards. I mean, the thing is, right, with a lot of these, is you kind of needed to fill in the blanks, right? As in, when you get from corner to corner, you need it to be really fast, because that's where these cars, especially the really lower class cars, kind of struggle. If you build something that's very good at handling, that corners really, really well, you'll be able to take those corners very quickly, but then you won't be able to accelerate until you get to the next corner, like, that much. You know what I mean? Like, there has to be a way that you can kind of fill in those gaps and actually have some performance there, because, yes, you can take corners very quickly with these type of cars, it's just, if they're not built to be able to pick up any sort of speed, then you're kind of screwed and you're just stuck. I feel like that was not a very good lap. And I also feel that this could be a car that maybe could be used without traction control on. But I'm going to use it for this video. Still top 1%. Still made it to 215th place in the world. Yeah, it's a bit of a mess up here at the top, but you'll start seeing some peels about the place. There you go. No, this guy's using traction control as well. Just maybe not use stability control. This guy's not using ABS, which I think is a good idea. But yeah, around the 117 marks is, by the looks of things, where the top people in the world are. Pretty cool. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Now, these last two cars are actually quite similar. They're also from the same brand, but I'm going to obviously showcase one at a time. This is the Ford Coupe, or the Ford Deluxe Coupe. It's the Ford Coupe. You can see there, where it says Ford Deluxe. The 1940s Ford Coupe. This is a power build. This is a car that was made to be very good for like long sprints. Stuff like the Goliath, for example. This, I'm pretty sure, actually may hold a world record for the Goliath, if I'm not mistaken. It's an unbelievably good car. Obviously, we need to give it a shot. I'll show you guys the stats for it, actually. If I go into this. 1,750 horsepower in D-Class. The only thing with this car is that it has, I'm pretty sure it's got its stock wheels. So that's what the biggest issue with this car is. If you drive it like that, then obviously it does that. But again, this is where traction control is actually needed. And you can see it how easy it goes sideways. I mean, we've driven these cars in the past where we were using them for drag racing. Like, they're actually meta cars for drag racing. So they're incredibly good for that sort of stuff. I don't think I want to do a run on the Goliath, though, because I feel like it's just going to take an incredibly long amount of time. For a video's sake, I'm going to go and pick something a little shorter and maybe just still something that kind of resembles the Goliath, right? So stuff like these type of races, like the Aerodromo Sprint, for example. Let's just do a run on this and see what happens. I'll probably do the same thing with the next car as well, because the next car is also very similar. It's kind of like a power build, but it's used for more like technical tracks. So this track is not very technical, so that's why I'm going to bring it over here and try it on this sprint event and see where I can place myself in the world with it. Again, ABS on and traction control on and braking line on, stability control off. Let's go for it. The only thing I have to be really careful with this car is when it comes to actually taking corners, because it's on stock wheels or stock tires. I think I might be struggling with that. Also, if I get a little bit too much angle with it, I know it'll end up starting to slide. Because traction control in this game only works up to a certain point. If you actually get it to go sideways, just like that, you heard my RPM smack limiter there. So it's you have to be very careful that you don't have a bit too much angle when you get into the corners if you somehow manage to get yourself sideways. Or else the traction control will legitimately just turn off. It'll just stop. So if you're careful enough with it, you can just keep it on that little point where traction control is always enabled. That's the thing, right? But you still need a bit of throttle control, especially when coming out of corners. Obviously, you don't want to just drive around the corner without starting to accelerate. But this is so insanely fast. For a D-Class car. And this is what I was talking about earlier. Like, you need cars like this to obviously fill in the gaps, because that car that I'm racing against right now, that rival, he's probably very good in corners, but he's missing the top speed, or is missing the acceleration for the parts between the corners. That's why these power builds get made. Like, not only are they like kind of pretty decent in corners, but of course they need to fill in those gaps between the corners, all the straights, all the bits of road where you should technically be speeding up in. So that's why these cars are built like this. Yes, they seem very, very weird to the regular player. And the regular player may be like, why don't you just like give them as much downforce and the most amount of grip possible? Well, because like I said, the parts where you're not cornering, in these lower class cars, those are the parts where you're missing out on a lot of time. So the meta cars in this game are basically built so you can fill in those gaps. Like I said, in the lower class cars, I mean. Thought I'd hit it with a bit of a at the very end, you know what I mean? Alright, we'll leave it like that for this thing, and we'll move on to the last car. Well, first of all, let's have a look at where we are in the world. The very first run, the very first time driving this car. Let's see. I feel like I've done a decent job, especially when you start playing with the Datsun. That Datsun, especially trying to figure out the best way to keep it in check with that back end. And once I got used to it, it was actually pretty easy to drive. The thing is though, like, I know for a fact I'm not going to be like anywhere near the top of the leaderboards with these runs, because I'm going to have to spend like days trying to do this. And I'll probably end up getting closer and closer, but I don't think I'm good enough or determined enough to squeeze out a world record type run. Nor am I talented enough. Let's just say that as well. Okay, let's see. Where am I in the world now with this thing? This wasn't a very technical track, so I think it should be fine. Okay, okay. Just looking at some of the times here at the top. I'm 24th in the world on my very first attempt with this thing. I think I'll take that as a dub. I think I'll take that as a big dub skis there. You can see it here. You can even see the 32 Coupe as well. PLP50 had a run. This guy's cheating, obviously. So is this guy. Both of these guys at the top are cheating. Then I think from maybe here on down, from this guy, the scores are legit, or they could be legit. That's what it looks like anyway, to me. But I am, what, 22nd then in the world? Legit time? Not bad. I mean, there's not really a lot of players on this leaderboard, but that's not a bad run, if I do say so myself. Right, let's swap over to the other Ford, and we'll showcase that as well. It's pretty much the same thing. It's a very, very similar car to the other one. You kind of like mix and match. It may be good for... Here's all the list of cars, by the way. For this, it's very similar. You can see it has slightly less power, but it's also slightly lighter as well. But it's pretty much very, very similar to the other one. I think this one, maybe you can have some slightly wider rear tires. I'm not 100% sure if that is the case, but that's what it looks like anyway. But yeah, the Ford Deluxe Coupe from 1932. Right, let's send it out and see what this thing's like. Now, let's try it on the exact same track, the Aerodromo Sprint. I know it's not very technical, but we'll try it here anyway. And I actually selected myself as the ghost. That basically the run that I just did before. And we'll kind of see the similarities and the differences between both of these guys, I guess. On here. Oh man, this is good for cornering. It just kind of, I feel like it wants to go. That backhand really wants to go from behind me, but I think it's slightly sharper. It turns into the corner a lot more. I'm even like trying to use the walls to help myself turn in. Yeah, this definitely turns in a lot sharper than the other Ford. A lot sharper and a lot better. However, it does want to step out, I think, a lot more though. So yeah, maybe for some tracks, that would be a better idea. See here, I think I'm just going to fall behind a lot. Because this is not going to be as fast as the other Ford. Yeah, I am catching. Or the ghost is catching me. Just barely, though. Yeah, you can see the back end, like I said, really trying to step out in this car. The other one seems a little bit more stable. But he is right, this is definitely for more technical tracks. As you can see, entering and exiting corners is much better with this. The only issue with this car, like I said, is it kind of wants to keep turning in. And that front end will just keep going in, and the back end just won't follow it. And then that'll happen. Exactly what I just did there. Whoa, 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 game. Whoa. I thought I slowed down. Stop it. But it's all to do with just the way you drive this thing. So it's different. And for some tracks, I think the way this car is built is definitely better. For tracks, like I said, that maybe could be a little bit more technical. Yeah, we'll take that. We'll take that. I mean, it's barely any difference in the way they drive. And I don't know which car would probably be better for this track, even though this one I kind of did a little worse in, but I just have to get used to it. Yeah, this definitely wants that back end to step out a little bit more. Like when you start accelerating out of corners, and you obviously put your foot down and you floor it, it wants to keep going out more and more and more. It doesn't slip, because traction control doesn't let it. When you take the corner like this, and then you start accelerating. See what I mean? By that back end wanting to come out every single time. Like you turn into a corner, you constantly have to be very, very quick with your steering. As you go to a corner. And that back end wants to step out every single time. It's just funny. But yeah, anyway, that is pretty much it. The best D-class cars to use for road racing in Horizon 5. Thank you for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see videos like this on the channel more often, and then of course subscribe, so you don't have to wait for them to pop up on your homepage, and you can just get to see them on the subscriber page, or the subscriptions page. Plus it helps me out a lot, of course, with the new subs, and yeah, like the video if you enjoyed it. But yeah, that is pretty much it for today's video. Of course, this was only D-class, so I'll have to now release the video on C-class, and then, of course, the other classes as well. But like I said, that is pretty much it for today's video. Thank you for watching, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.